Yes, now a lot of my Caucasian friends are struggling, or should I say suffering from cystic fibrosis. Like every 25 to 30 Caucasians you see, you can guarantee one has cystic fibrosis. I soon tap into the melanated woman to give you a similarity. Yes. Now, over the years, the Caucasian diet is so poor that it has compromised the gut of these individuals. Now, why cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease associated with Caucasian is a study that we must look into deeply. Yes, yes, yes. Now, cystic fibrosis sounds like an amino acid. This is why I said it is important to learn the 20 essential amino acids of the body. Stop talking about protein. You are distracted. You need to learn the essential amino acids and all the amino acids. I'm saying this to say because most Caucasians suffer from cystic fibrosis because of a deficiency in specific amino acids. For example, cystic fibrosis sounds very close to what is called cysteine. And yes, cysteine is linked to cystic fibrosis. And cysteine is an amino acid. To say it is one of two amino acids in the body that carries sulfur. Now, cystic fibrosis is a sulfur disease, and I mean organic sulfur. So people who suffer from cystic fibrosis usually come down with issues with cysteine, either over or under in terms of balance of cysteine. Now, cysteine is very important because it creates what is called a very important and medicinal compound called N-acetylcysteine. You purchase it online called NAC. NAC is very important against cystic fibrosis. So this is why during the pandemic, NAC sold out. NAC is N-acetylcysteine. You acetylate a cysteine amino acid. And this is used to treat cystic fibrosis. Remove the phlegm, the biofilm, from the lungs. In other words, activating back the rebalancing homocysteine. Now, when you have too much sulfur in the body, and this is usually brought in the body by the consumption of excess cow's milk. The cow's milk contains just too much sulfur, and sulfur was pushed into the milk to balance out the excess calcium, all right? Because calcium was creating more issues in the body than expected, such as calcification, all right? And hardening of the walls of the artery. Now, the excess sulfur in cow's milk somewhat throw off the balance of a very important amino acid called methionine. And as a result, most Caucasian globally lacks a very essential amino acid called lysine and methionine. And sharply, the next amino acid is threonine. Threonine and lysine are responsible for controlling anxiety, energy production from fat, stabilizing the mind, all right? And cysteine helps a lot with managing stress. Any amino acids that you see containing S, sulfur, like cysteine and methionine, for example, cysteine, for example, plays a very important role in what is called DNA methylation and DNA acetylation, meaning these are processes that drive epigenetics or adaptation to various stresses, right? Now, when you make sulfur metabolism becomes an issue in the body, we come down with a lot of lungs or respiratory issues. or issues dealing with stress, because sulfur via cysteine and N-acetylcysteine is further used to build what is called glutathione. Glutathione is the most potent antioxidant in the body, specifically in the lungs or the respiratory system. And it is there to drive out reactive oxygen species that would rather break down membranes and enzymes and other molecules. So yes, cysteine, very important because it is used to make glutathione. Along with glutamate and glycine, cysteine is used to make glutathione. Very important antioxidant in the body. Now, a lot of Americans do not have a lot of glutathione, specifically Caucasian, do not have a lot of glutathione in the body, and so they usually supplement. Now, glutathione has been disrupted. The production, the metabolism of glutathione has been disrupted largely because of the consumption of, I said, milk and genetically modified foods, such as the corn and soybean that introduce what is called glyphosate in the gut, which then blocks the shikimic acid pathway for the production of more important aromatic amino acid like tyrosine and tryptophan, right? So it is a deliberate attack on the gut to destroy the microbial community and the colonies, right? Now, disruption of the gut microbiota leads to an imbalance in the metabolism of sulfur, which disrupt the whole formation of N-acetylcysteine. As a result, this leads to the development of biofilm, phlegm, mucus, and congestion in the respiratory system. Now, in addressing this issue, one must cut back on milk and genetically modified foods such as the wheat and the corn. Pay attention to the processed sugar. One should instead support the regeneration of the gut microbiota so that it can rebalance or bring into homeostasis the metabolism of sulfur in cysteine and balance back again the methionine metabolism in the body. Sulfur is very important to Caucasian. Eat a lot of onion, raw garlic, add them to juices, eat them in your salads, etc., etc. And I must say, sea moss is a rich source of lysine. Globally, the planet is deficient in lysine. Every group, especially Caribbean and sub-Saharan Africans, deficient in lysine. It's not just Caucasian. Caucasian are deficient in lysine, methionine, cysteine, and threonine. All right? And as a result, the lack of threonine, anxiety, schizophrenia. All right? And the lack of this sulfur, we have the cystic fibrosis. All these are the issue. The lack of the methionine, difficult for Caucasian to adapt to various stresses and evolve. So it's all about your amino acid. I can delve a little deeper into this if you're more serious about your health and wellness. Different people should adapt to a different diet and lifestyle culturally. This is how we were bred and tribe. Yes, thank you very much.